When you're growing up, and even long after, people hand you a blueprint for how they think your life should look. It's invisible, but heavy. It's made of the dreams they had for themselves, the fears they carry, and the limits they believe are unbreakable. They hand it to you early, sometimes out of love, sometimes out of fear. But the truth is, you don't have to build your life with someone else's blueprint. From the moment you step into the world, labels start sticking to you. Smart, slow, gifted, troublemaker, average. They come fast and they come from everywhere. Teachers, family, strangers who know nothing about your heart. If you're not careful, you'll start believing those labels are the whole truth. But they aren't. They're guesses. They're the world's projections, not your destiny. The real danger isn't that people have opinions about you. Opinions are just noise. The real danger is when you start to live according to those opinions. When you start shrinking yourself to fit their idea of what's possible for you. When you start walking roads you don't even like, simply because someone else said it's the safer way. That's when you betray the best parts of yourself without even noticing. Every great story you admire, every person you respect, every soul who made something extraordinary out of their life, they all had a moment when they said, "No, I won't live your version of my life." It's never easy. It rarely looks heroic in the moment. Sometimes it's quiet, sometimes it's messy. But it's necessary. Saying no to the life someone else mapped out for you is one of the bravest things you'll ever do. Here's the uncomfortable part. When you stop following the map others made for you, they might not clap for you. Some people will doubt you. Some will be angry. Some will quietly root for you to fail because your courage reminds them of their own fear. You have to walk through that noise without apologizing, without explaining. You owe no one an explanation for choosing to live a life that feels true to you. The people who really love you, the ones who understand what love actually means, they will come around. They will see that your success, your happiness, your growth doesn't take anything away from them. They will realize that your refusal to settle doesn't insult them. It invites them. It dares them to dream too. You don't have to drag anyone into your future. Walk toward it, and the right ones will follow. Sometimes the biggest chains you have to break aren't from strangers. They're from the people who love you most, but were too afraid to dream bigger themselves. Forgive them. Understand them, but don't let their fear become your ceiling. You have your own sky to reach for, your own fire to light, your own story to tell. And it was never meant to fit inside anyone else's small, neat box. You don't have to accept the blueprint handed to you. You don't have to wear the labels they stuck on you. You are allowed. No, you are called to build something messy, brilliant, unpredictable, and completely your own. And it won't look like anyone else's idea of success. That's exactly the point. When we imagine success, we often picture the polished version. The standing ovations, the best-selling book, the award-winning performance, the perfect launch. What we don't see, what nobody wants to show, is how ugly the beginning usually is. How clumsy, awkward, and sometimes even embarrassing it can be to start something new. The truth is, beginnings are rarely graceful. They're messy. They're filled with mistakes. And that's not a flaw. That's the sign you're alive and moving. You're not supposed to be good at something the first time you try it. That's not how growth works. Babies don't learn to walk without falling face first 100 times. Artists don't pick up a brush and paint a masterpiece overnight. Speakers don't give flawless speeches the first time they stand up in front of a crowd. If you wait until you're good at something before you allow yourself to start, you'll wait forever. There's a strange pressure in our culture to appear effortless, to pretend that you were a natural all along, that you just magically woke up talented. That pressure is a lie. It robs people of the most important part of the journey, the beginning, the messy practice, the ridiculous attempts that eventually lead to something beautiful. No one ever became great by skipping the part where they were terrible. You will stumble. You will doubt yourself. You will probably cringe when you look back at your first attempts. That's normal. That's good. It means you're growing. It means you're actually doing something instead of sitting on the sidelines critiquing other people who dared to try. Starting badly is a badge of honor, not a scarlet letter. Most of the people you admire, the ones who made you believe in something bigger, They have their own collection of disasters hidden in drawers and hard drives somewhere. Early drafts that were terrible. First auditions that went horribly. Ideas that fell flat. The only difference between them and the people you've never heard of is that they didn't let the early mess stop them. You will be tempted to compare your beginnings to someone else's middle or someone else's highlight reel. Don't. Their finished product and your rough start are not in the same league, and they never will be. Focus on your lane. Focus on your growth. Your only competition is the person you were yesterday, not the person who's already been running the race for a decade. There will be a moment, maybe many moments, when you think, this is terrible. I'm terrible. I should quit. That moment is a crossroads. If you push through it, you earn something most people never do. Real progress, real skill, real grit. The willingness to keep going when you aren't good yet is what separates dreamers from doers. So start badly. Start awkwardly. Start scared. Start with doubt screaming in your ears. But for God's sake, start. The sooner you allow yourself to be terrible, the sooner you give yourself permission to become something extraordinary. Fear is stitched into us from the beginning. It's part of being alive. It keeps us from walking off cliffs, from touching fire, from stepping into dangerous places blindly. But somewhere along the way, fear stops just protecting us. It starts limiting us. It whispers in your ear that trying something new is dangerous, that risking failure is shameful, that standing out will only make you a target. Fear wants you to stay small because small feels safe. Everyone feels fear. Everyone. The ones who pretend they don't are lying or pretending for show. If fear is the shadow that shows up every time you dare to step beyond what you already know, it's the tax you pay for wanting something bigger than the life you already have. You don't have to be fearless to chase your dreams. That's the myth that keeps people frozen. You just have to stop giving fear the final vote. Courage isn't the absence of fear. Courage is walking forward even though your hands are shaking and your voice is cracking and your heart is pounding so hard it feels like it might burst out of your chest. Courage is looking fear in the eye and saying, I see you, you're real, but you're not the boss of me. It's carrying fear with you, not waiting for it to disappear. If you wait until you feel ready, you'll never move. If you wait until the fear evaporates, you'll die still waiting. Ready is a myth. Perfect timing is a lie. Fear will always ride shotgun when you're doing something that matters. The trick is not to let it drive the car. Strap it into the passenger seat and keep going. Fear will come dressed as logic sometimes. It will sound smart. Maybe you should wait a little longer. Maybe you're not qualified yet. Maybe it's too soon, too risky, too uncertain. And sure, sometimes caution is wise, but more often than not, that logic is just fear wearing a nice tie and trying to talk you out of your future. Learn to tell the difference between wise waiting and fear-based paralysis. The people you look up to, the authors, the leaders, the artists, the athletes, they didn't wait until they stopped being afraid. They didn't have secret armor. They just made a choice. The dream mattered more than the fear. The purpose was louder than the panic. They moved with fear clinging to their ankles, dragging it like a heavy chain, and somewhere along the way, fear got quieter. Sometimes fear will scream. Sometimes it will whisper. Sometimes it will feel like a boulder on your chest. That doesn't mean you're broken or weak. It means you're standing at the edge of something new. It means you're alive. It means you still care. And caring is not weakness. It's the source of everything worth doing. So you learn to walk with fear. You learn to carry it like a badge of honor, proof that you are not hiding from your life. You stop waiting for the fear to leave and start moving anyway. Shaky, messy, imperfect. Because the life you want isn't waiting for you to be fearless. It's waiting for you to be brave enough to show up scared.